Hey everybody, this is Paige from Mosaic Moments, and today I'm going to show you how to use a special die called Puff and Stuff. It's kind of an interesting looking die. It looks like a little cloud, partially. If you're really confused and you've seen it before and you're like, what is this die for? Well, today I'm going to show you. It actually makes a really cool design for your page. So I'm going to get set up here and get my page ready to go, and then we'll get started. First, I'm going to use the Puff and Stuff die to cut my outline piece, and this fits the measurements of the grid paper. Your cardstock or pattern paper, whichever you use, will probably get stuck in the die, so I use some sharp tweezers and poke it right in one of the corners, and it pops right out. Next, I'm cutting some pattern paper. So instead of getting the outline this time, I'm going to use a filler piece. So there it is, it's all done. The outline of this die is thin, so I'm using the 3x4 square die from set C to cut a base piece. So my frame will fit on here, so I'll have an easier time getting it on the grid paper. Before I place my Puff and Stuff pieces on, I just wanted to show you my layout. So for the center, you'll definitely want to use the 4x4 square die from set A. In each corner, you can do what you want, but I just decided to use the 3x3 square die from set A as well. So I know gluing these pieces can be a little tricky, so what I do is I use my Dado dispenser and just try to get a little bit of glue here and there around the corners and along the edges. And I place a piece of cardstock behind it so I don't get glue on everything else like my page or the table. And with these Dado things, the glue sticks out of the edges, so I just like to use my finger to get them behind the paper. Now that I've added glue, I'm just sticking the outline piece onto my cardstock. You can put it directly on the grid paper, but again, I just find it easier to get it on when you have a base piece. So here it was simple to just line it up along the edges of the base piece so my edges don't get warped, and then I could put it right on the grid paper. Next, I'm going to add in my filler piece, so I'm just gluing the back of it with my Hermer Dado, and I'm going to stick it right in the outline. So that part's pretty easy peasy, I would say. And now I'm going to fill in the rest of it. So all my Puff and Stuff die pieces are down, and it actually looks really cool this way. You can see now the Quatrefoil design that goes around the center photograph. I think it's really neat. But now I'm going to fill in we'll say the puffy cloud looking part with photographs, I should say. So I'm going to be cutting the piece that will go on the left side of the page. So when you cut this, you want to make sure the puffy part or whichever part you're cutting with is in the right direction. So I'm making sure that this big bubble part, we'll say, is pointed towards the left. So I'm just double checking, make sure it's in the right direction I want it, so that way it's not upside down or sideways later. And there's my piece. Next, I'm going to do this again. This piece will go on the bottom of the page, so I want to make sure the big bubbly part is pointed down on my photograph. And that's done too, pretty quick. I'm going to cut my next two pieces really quick here. This one's going to be on the right, so I want to make sure the big bubbly part is pointed towards the right in my photograph. And for my last photograph, this photo is going to go on the top of the page, so my big bubbly bubble part, whatever, is pointed towards the top. Alright, so now I get to finally put in the photographs. So there's my first one, and as you can see, I'm using my repositional tape. It's really easy to glue on these pieces. I didn't even get the cardstock this time. I just did it right on the page. You can even glue right on the cardstock instead of the photograph if you wanted to. It's starting to look really well. It already looks good, but it's looking really good now. Oh, and I'm all done, and it looks so pretty, and I love this Quatrefoil design. So Again, if when you see the Puff and Stuff die the first time, you are like, what on earth would that even do? And it actually makes a beautiful layout. I just love it, and it makes such pretty designs. I'm sure you will amaze your friends with a layout like this, and they'll think, you know, it was so hard, but really, I mean, with the dies, it's so much easier to make such great layouts. So I hope you enjoy using this die at home. I definitely recommend it. If you liked this page, definitely give this video a like, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos like this tutorial. Thanks for watching, and see more on mosaicmoments.com.